Hello Techies, welcome to Love with Coding. Improve your programming skill from zero to hero with Divix. First concept in chapter 2 is a list. List is a mutable data type. Mutable means it can be modified or it can be changed. So list is used to store the sequence of value. So you can store the list of value or collections of value or sequence of value of any data type. Any data type means it is considered as a mixed data type within a square bracket. So the list is denoted through the square bracket. So if there is a square bracket means it is called as a list. So see the first example, there is a square bracket, so it is called as a list, but there is nothing inside the list. So it is called as a empty list. So you can consider the second example, there is a square bracket, it containing the list of value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Each value it is separated by comma, but it is called as a list of integer because the data type is a integer. Look at the third example. So there is a square bracket means it is called as a list. First one is a, it contains the code, so it is called as a string. Second one is a 1, it is a integer because it is a whole number. Next is a 3.5, it is a floating point number. Next again there is a code, so it is called as a string. So this list is called as a mixed list. Next one is creating the list. There are two ways to create the list. First one is using the variable and second one is using the function. So look at the first one, variable name. L is a variable name. L is nothing but list. Next one is a equal to, it is a assignment operator. So there is a square bracket means it is called as a list. So here it is a empty list. So in the second one, using the function. So here also the variable name is a L. Next there is a assignment operator. The function name is a list. It is called as a constructor function because we are discussing about the chapter list. So the chapter name is a list. The concept name is a list. So the function name also same means it is called as a constructor function. So the function is a constructor function. So function means it contains the parenthesis. So if there is a parenthesis mean it is called as a function. If there is a square bracket mean it is called as a list. So how to create the empty list using the variable and using the function. Let's see the example. Look at the example. So the variable name is a L, it look like a 1, so it is a L. Otherwise you can use the capital L. So L is equal to is assignment operator. Next there is a square bracket means it is called as a list, but nothing inside the list, so it is called as a empty list. So press the enter key. Now I am going to print the value of L. So what is inside the L? It is nothing, so it is called as a empty list. So what is another way to create the list? Empty list means using the function. So here I am going to use the function, the list name. Again I am going to take the variable name as a L. Next there is a assignment operator. The constructor function is a list, list list. So there is a parenthesis mean it is called as a function. Now I am going to give L. So what is a L? There is a empty list. So you can create the empty list using the variable and using the square bracket. Another one is using the constructor function. So here both the example, creating the list using the square bracket, creating the list using the function, both will create the empty list, but you need some values inside the list means you want to follow this syntax. So the variable name equal to assignment operator, so there is a square bracket only, it is called as a list, value 1, value 2, value 3, you can give n number of values. There is no condition you want to give all the values of same data type. List will accept the mixed data type also. See the example. So example for your mixed data type list. So the variable name is L. So L is equal to assignment operator. If there is a square bracket means it is called as a list. So first I am going to enter the number as a 12. So it is a integer. Next I am going to enter the number as a 34 point. There is a 6. So it is a floating point number. Next I am going to give the string. It is what is given inside the double quotes. It is called as a string. So I am going to give there is a hello. So first one is a integer. Second is a floating point number. Third is a string. So it contains the square bracket means it is called as a list. So I am going to print the value of L. So L is containing the mixed data type. One is in an integer, another one is a floating point number, another one is a string. The next concept is creating the list from existing sequence. So now I am going to create the list, but I am going to create the list from the existing sequence. So there are three types of sequence. So what are the three types of sequence? One is a string, list and tuples. So what is the syntax to create the list from the existing sequence? So first one is a variable name. Next one is assignment operator, list. It contains the parenthesis, so it is called as a constructor function. Inside the function you want to pass the sequence. So the sequence, it may be the string or list or it is a tuples. So let's see the example. So the variable name is a L. So next one is the assignment operator. The function name is a list. So what is a sequence? Here it is given, it is a string. So because it is given inside the double quote, so it is called as a string. So each and every character of the string will be considered as a value of the list. Let's see the example. This is an example for creating the list from the existing sequence. So the variable name is L. So L is equal to, the function name is a list. So function means it contains the parenthesis. Inside the function we are going to pass the sequence. Here I am going to pass the sequence as a Python. So the sequence is nothing but it is a string or list or tuple. So here I am going to give us a string. Now I am going to press the enter key. Now I am going to print the value of L. So what is stored in a L? So each and every character of the string will be considered as a value of the list. The next concept is creating list values during the runtime input. So runtime means through the keyboard you are going to enter the input. So every time while you are running the program, you can enter the different types of input. If the input is not a fixed value to the variable, you can enter the different value to the list. Let's see the syntax of creating the list of value during the runtime. So the variable name is a L. There is a assignment operator, list is a function, so there is a parenthesis. Inside the list function there is another function. What is another function? Means input function, because I am going to get the runtime input. So next there is again another one more function, there is a input. Inside the input function I am going to give the prompt message. What is the information given inside the codes of the input? It will print as it is. Even it is given in a capital letter, it will print it in a capital letter. It is given in a lowercase letter, it will print it in the lowercase letter. Without any change, what is given inside the quotes, it will print as it is. So see the example, variable name, next assignment operator, next one is a function. So inside the list function there is another function, it is called as a input. Inside the input there is a prompt message. So what is a prompt message? Enter the list values. Let's see the example. So the variable name is L. Next one is the assignment operator. The function name is a list. So function means it contains the parenthesis. Inside the list function I am going to use another function. The another function is a input. Inside the input function we want to give the prompt message. So what is given inside the quotes, it will print as it is. So I am going to give enter the list elements. So what is given inside the quotes, it will print as it is. Now I am going to press the enter key. So I am going to execute this statement. So it is asking enter the list of elements. So I am going to give 2, 3, 4, next space, next I am going to give us a 6. Now we can see, now I am going to print the value of L. So what is the value of L? So first there is a 2, next there is a 3, 4, next I am providing the space. The space also considers a value of the list. Next there is a 6. But you can see here we entering everything as a numbers 2, 3, 4, 6. But here the numbers are given inside the quotes. So it is given inside the quotes means it is a string. So this is a drawback of the list. So if you are going to use the list in order to get the list values, means if you are going to give the values, even if you are entering the number, it will consider as a string only, not numerics. So in order to overcome this drawback, we are going to use evaluate function. So what is evaluate function? I will explain. So instead of list, I am going to use the evaluate function. So the variable name is a L. assignment operator. So there is a drawback in list. So in order to overcome this drawback, I am going to use the evaluate function. So evaluate, so it is a function, so it contains the parenthesis. Inside the evaluate function, I am going to give the input function. Inside the input function, I am going to give the prompt message. So what is the information given inside the quotes? It will print as it is. So enter the list values. Okay, are you clear? Now I am going to execute the statement. So it is asking enter the list value. So I am going to give, there is a 2, 3, there is a hello. Next one I am going to give, there is a 45.78. Next there is a square bracket. So if there is a square bracket, means it is called as a list. So now I am going to press, there is a L. So what is a value stored in a L means 2, it is a integer. 3, again there is a integer. Next hello, it is a string. It is a 45.78, it is a floating point number. But you can look at this example, enter the list element. Here you are entering the number, it is considered as a string. So that is a drawback in list. So most commonly used function to get the input during the runtime from the user means you want to use the evaluate function. Consider the same example, but this time I am going to enter the list of values without square bracket. 2, 4.5, there is a hello. So next I am going to execute this statement. I am going to print the value of L. Now see, without square bracket, if you are entering the value means it will be considered as a tuples. There is a parenthesis, mean it is called as a tuples. There is a square bracket, mean it is called as a list. List is a mutable data type, tuple is a immutable data type. So evaluate function, it is used to get list of values of the list or collection of values of the tuples also. But I told you in the beginning, there is a parenthesis, mean it is called as a function. But there is a function means there will be name will present. Evaluate. Next there is a parenthesis. So name of the function is evaluate. Input, it is a name of the function. Next there is a parenthesis. But tuples means it will contain the list of values. So this is a difference between tuple and function. Thank you all. I meet you shortly with another video.